Oulton Park in Cheshire plays host to the opening round of the Total Quartz Ginetta GT5 Challenge. The first 15-minute race of the year about to get underway. Mike Robinson lines up alongside Ryan Ratcliffe for this first round of the championship. The lights are on red. The lights go out to get the season underway now. And a rather hesitant start from the Irwin back car of Diego Gugliari. That is left on the grid. Stuart Pearson, last year's G20 champion, blasts by and down towards Old Hall Corner for the first time. Ratcliffe leads, but Mike Robinson has the inside line and squeezes through as they turn their way out of the right-hander and for the first time go down the avenue towards Cascades. One or two of the G20s near the back of the grid running out of road, but Mike Robinson leads the way. Up into second place has gone Sean Heighton, Clive Richards third, and Ryan Ratcliffe, who led ever so briefly into turn one at Old Hall Corner, is down in fourth as they work their way out of Cascades for the first time. Richard Sykes up from the back of the grid. He went on a wet road on slick tyres in qualifying, ended up in the tyre barrier at Old Hall Corner, so he's coming through from the back. Meantime, Stuart Pearson, who's been loaned the use of this G40 for the year as his prize for winning the G20 class last season, is hard at work trying to gain ground as the leaders swing their way through Shell Oil's corner for the first time. Yellow flag being waved though, somebody in strife arriving backwards, it's William Burns. That's another of the HHC motorsport cars that had all sorts of strife in qualifying. Will Burns arrives backwards at Shell on that one, and that could be the end of him. Leaders out of Britain's midfield into Britain's for the first time. And the race leader is just Mike Robinson with Sean Heighton behind him, and there with damage Will Burns heading for retirement. Down towards Hislop, Mike Robinson defending, sitting in the middle of the road, and Sean Heighton in the black car right up behind him. Out of Knickerbrook they go, as into Hislop comes the yellow car of Lee Mole, and then Stuart Pearson tucked up behind him. Nose to tail those two, and then you've got the reigning Irish Ginetta Junior champion, Andy O'Brien, next up. He's gone really well around Oulton Park this weekend. First visit to the Cheshire circuit. So the top two break away a little bit as they come to Druids. Robinson and Heighton. And Sean Heighton at his home circuit, eager to do well. There and move. Stuart Pearson on the inside. It's not Lee Mole, in fact. Number 39, JJ O'Malley is the man he's battling with. Down they come then towards Lodge Corner for the first time. The leading group were getting away a little bit earlier on this lap. Now they've all concertinaed back up the leading, 7 or 8 cars. Andy O'Brien defending as they drop down towards Lodge. Kevin Begley right up behind him. The man from Warrington, his home circuit. He's just a quarter of an hour or so away from here. The leader, Mike Robinson, down to Old Hall. He's having to go defensive though because Sean Heighton is right up behind him. O'Malley losing out. Andy O'Brien goes through on the inside at Old Hall. And contact. O'Malley and Begley touch. They both spin. Begley's got it more or less in the right direction. What happened to O'Malley? He's gone the other side of the circuit. He's on the grass and losing it in avoidance. Look, a big spin there. David Barker into the barriers, bounces off and should be able to rejoin. Not really his fault, but he had to swing the car in any direction to avoid contact and promptly lost control. Mark Warnier there, number 88, the Middlesex jeweller, back in racing after a year's absence. The two leaders breaking away again. Clive Richards third, Ryan Ratcliffe right up behind him, and there's Gary Sims, 55, in a Lease Drive backed car, the man that was runner-up last year in the G20s. David Barker, meantime, is going no further. Here's the replay. Andy O'Brien through. Begley has a look on the inside of O'Malley. They make contact and spin. Begley goes one side, and as O'Malley comes back across the road, David Barker has to swerve in avoidance and gets onto the slippery grass. Round it goes. And to be fair, lucky not to get collected by anybody else. It's a big whack into the barrier. That's his race run. This is the leader, Mike Robinson, losing out because Sean Heighton goes past him. Out of nowhere, Sean Heighton makes the move heading into Ireland Bend. He dives through and he's gone into the lead. Robinson down to second. He's yet to win in one of these cars, legitimately. He won on the road at Brands Hatch, remember, Mike Robinson last year, and then had the win taken away for excessive use of the track limits. In other words, going on the curbs too much on the outside of the track. So, he's never really had a true win in one of these. This could have been his day of days, but Sean Heighton's gone by. He is the new leader. Richard Sykes, meantime, still carving his way through the pack. Ahead of him there, number 43, Luke Davenport. In the meantime, Matt Flowers here is the man to beat in the G20 class. He's experienced in these cars and he's leading at the moment. As there, Andy O'Brien comes over the line. We've got Brad Bailey, the former junior rallycrosser, tucked up behind him. Brad Bailey moving from Ginetta Juniors to seniors this year, to the inside of Clive Richards. Look, Ryan Ratcliffe, but to no avail. And Gary Sims, who's had very little time in the car, pre-season, inching up onto the back of them. Somebody's got off, and that's Rick Parfitt. Big lose at Cascades. He's gone through the gravel, he's gone all over the grass. He should be able to rejoin from there, albeit many places lost. Now for third here, look, Clive Richards, multiple Caterham champion. He's keeping at bay Ryan Ratcliffe, and therefore by defending, he's losing touch with those ahead. Andy O'Brien is still defending from Brad Bailey. The orange car with the checker roof is that of Brad Bailey, whose dad Paul was a very successful rallycrosser in the 1980s. But the new race leader, Sean Heighton, comes over Hilltop, down to his lots. That's Lee Mole in strife coming out of Britain's. digs his way back onto the road, climbs uphill for third. Richards versus Ratcliffe, these two nose to tail, and Ryan Ratcliffe, who's another of the drivers who's moved from juniors to seniors. He graduated last year into the Ginetta Challenge. There's Kevin Begley recovering after his spin. See how far down the order it dropped him. He's behind some of the G20s now. Mark Warnier there just up ahead of him. There's Brian Murphy behind. And down towards Lodge Corner comes this great gaggle of cars, including Andy O'Brien and Brad Bailey, who overlap, and the orange car of Bailey gets sideways. He's all over the grass. Is he going to hang on to it? No, he hits the barrier. Even a former rallycrosser couldn't quite hang on to a big slide like that. He bounces back onto the tarmac. But has that done any damage to the suspension? I fear it may have done. Luke Davenport out of Druids now. He in turn trying to gain ground here, chasing after Andy O'Brien. Stuart Pearson is ahead of him. It's been a pretty busy race for most of them in this. Lee Mole is behind. Luke Davenport eyeing up where he can make a move on Andy O'Brien now, coming through Lodge Corner. O'Brien this time is the one that runs wide out over the curb. Out of Dearly they come, nose to tail, and Luke Davenport tries to make his move. You're on board with Stuart Pearson down to third gear for Oulton Corner. Meantime, Davenport ran the outside of O'Brien, who hits him. He didn't even seem to turn for the line, but the net result is that Davenport gets speared off into the barriers at very high speed, and that would have done some damage to the rear of the car. He's okay. Marshall's quickly on the scene, but Luke Davenport out of the race. But the line that Andy O'Brien took just didn't seem to aim for the apex of the corner. Instead, he hit the back of Davenport's car. Off has gone Luke. O'Brien is delayed as well, and Richard Sykes, looking the HHC car, is about to go by. Luke Davenport, former kart racer, gets out of his Reflex Racing car, assesses the damage, hopes that's going to be good for later on in the day. They've got 3 races in total here this Easter Saturday at Oulton Park. Here's the replay. Andy O'Brien miles away, it seems, from the apex of the corner. So busy was he defending from Luke Davenport. I think he completely misjudged where he was on the corner. He missed the apex, missed his braking point, bounces off Davenport, and it's Luke that comes off worse. Now here, Matt Flowers doing a very good job heading the G20 division at the moment, shaking off the opposition, and he's out on his own, running along now from Lakeside straight down towards Island Bend. Behind him, Mark Warnier looking the black car, very busy defending from the red one of Brian Murphy. The two side by side heading down towards Island Bend. Who's going to come out in front? Well, there's Matt Flowers. He leads the G20 class from the older 1800cc open cars. Behind him, is it red or black? Is it Warnier or Murphy? Mark Warnier, I think, just about hanging onto the place. Sean Hyton, though, for the last time, down towards Lodge Corner. He's made a break, he's built a lead over Mike Robinson, and he's on target to win the opening round of the Total Quartz Ginetta GT5 Challenge. He comes out of dear lead, and Sean Hyton wins on his home circuit at Oulton Park. The man from Ormskirk is victorious. Mike Robinson comes home in second place. The gap at the flag between them just over 2 seconds. And it's Clive Richards who fends off Ryan Ratcliffe for third, and therefore claims the last step of the podium. Further battle still rage on. Coming towards us there, the Irwin back car at the back of that trio, Diego Guggiari, who stalled on the grid, but he's going to be on target for 10th place here. A good recovery coming out of Dearly, though now. Andy O'Brien racing here for the first time. He finishes 8th. Richard Sykes up from the back of the grid, having started 25th, comes through behind him in 9th spot. 10th goes the way of Diego Guggiari. And still there are battles. Ben Constanduras there, just ahead of Kevin Begley, coming into Lodge Corner for the last time, and loses it. Ben spins, big lose. And Kevin Begley should come through ahead. You've got battered car of Graham Johnson coming through that started in the pit lane. And there, facing the wrong way in the dip at Dearly, is Ben Constanduras, and passing him to win the G20 class is Matt Flowers. Matt Flowers ahead of a virtual dead heat look, because Mark Warnier and Brian Murphy come across the line almost overlapping for second in the G20s. Outright though, it's Hyton, Robinson and Richards, the top 3.